What's up, guys? It's the Four Horsemen Fantasy Football Podcast. My name is Josh Romine. With me tonight, I got Alex Devaney Stoner. How are you, Alex?
I am wonderful.
Excellent. I have Joshua Van Cleve. Hello, Joshua. How are you?
I'm good, Joshua. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you for asking. And I have Brent Ocker. Hello, Brent.
Hey, I'm all right.
Hey. Good. I didn't ask how you were, but
I know. I just wanted to throw that in there.
Thanks for telling me. So all four of us are back finally. I know there's been a lot of shade thrown around both ways. So, but we're happy to be together as one big collective family again. I apologize for missing last week. I'm a bum. I had to go see Thor, and I got nothing but crap thrown at me for it.
I do. So, how was it? Good?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. Did you like Guardians?
I love Guardians. I love Guardians.
Okay, so there's good humor in it, not like slapstick comedy, but I thought they did a good job of adding comedy into the action. I thought it was very well done. It was by far my favorite one.
Not like when they try to force it, like in the Avengers, like the second Avengers, whatever.
Exactly. It wasn't forced. It was very, very well done. I thought you guys should definitely go see it. Have you guys watched any of this Thursday night football game tonight?
Just falling on my phone.
Yeah, I saw that. There's so next week they're going to primarily use the Skycam as the main camera view.
Really?
Yeah, for next week's game. I think it's Pittsburgh and Tennessee, maybe. But this week they've been kind of just showing us what it's going to be like, and I love it. It's almost like playing Madden, but watching an NFL game. So I'm really curious to see how it is for a whole game. If you haven't seen it at all, give it a shot.
Well, isn't that the same camera that they use when you? That's the thing that's been going around for years, right?
Yep. The one that zooms on that line or whatever.
Yeah.
They're just going to use it as the primary camera next week.
I think they almost realized that during that fog game in New England, where they couldn't use those faraway cameras. They had to use that sky camera that was literally right behind the quarterback just to broadcast the game on television.
I don't remember seeing that one. But
it was just
I liked it.
Probably 3-4 weeks ago. I think it was against Tampa, New England.
Oh, I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah, I heard about that too. Yeah,
but
they're getting fog on the lenses and stuff, I think.
It's because New England sucks.
Yeah,
as a town and a football team.
Absolutely.
So, anyways, without further ado, we are going to talk about some players that you can't drop, but you don't want to start. I think that we're going to have a few arguments about that because I think that we kind of don't see eye to eye on a few players. And then we are going to talk about a few teams that we were really excited about in the preseason and that really haven't come to fruition, and just kind of talk about why. I don't know.
I set up the podcast, and it's called With or Without You.
With or without you.
That's right.
I like it. It's
just play the U2 song this entire just while you're listening to us. Listen to With or Without You by U2 over and over and over again, and you'll get the gist of where we're coming from right now. I can't live with or without you.
If I had to listen to a song on repeat for the rest of my life, Without You would not be the song that I would choose.
Oh, it's a good song though. I love that's one of my favorite U2 songs. I mean, there hasn't been a lot in the last 30 years, but
no, they're kind of terrible now, and that's probably a hot take, but I just not a big fan.
Oh, not a hot take at all. I completely agree. I hate the fact that they've been forcing themselves on people for about 10 years now, and it's come on, guys, let's just pack it in.
The instant iTunes download was kind of the peak of terribleness. So.
Yeah.
So, all right. So before we talk about that, hop on Twitter, follow us, Four Horsemen Pod. Send us emails, fourhorsemenpod@gmail.com. But yeah, let's talk about some of these players. First one that I want to talk about is DeMarco Murray. Alex, you've been kind of a DeMarco Murray truther in the past. What's wrong this year?
I don't know. I mean, it's we're going to get into it a little bit, but there's some stuff going on with Tennessee that I just don't understand. That line is amazing. Why they're not able to run? I mean, it does feel like they're kind of evening the playing field a little bit between DeMarco and Derrick Henry, but even still, like you're not getting running back 2 numbers out of either guy. I mean, you're not getting Orleans Darkwa numbers out of either one of those guys. Like, you have to be hoping that they get a touchdown. And honestly, it's not DeMarco Murray that's getting the touchdowns. So,
right.
This is not a guy that, that was drafted late. He was drafted in first round, maybe beginning of a second round at latest. It's not somebody that you send packing halfway through this season, but at this point, he's just not startable.
Yeah, Van Cleve, I know I said this is like, you don't want to drop DeMarco Murray though, right? You got to wait.
No, you've got to wait. I mean, okay, in running back dismal year, or like you're not going to find anybody of his caliber on the waiver wire. You've got to hold on to him.
Yeah,
right.
I'm not starting him this week in one of my leagues. But that's because my injury scares me, and I don't have great running backs like bench, and I don't feel comfortable starting him just because injury. So I don't know what they're going to play Henry more, and with his last week's performance. So he scares me, definitely scares me. But in the running back scarce league right now, you can't drop him. And I mean, I think he is somewhat still startable, unless you have a better backup choice.
Yeah.
Like for instance, say you draft a rookie. Say you have Joe Mixon, who hasn't been performing to what people were thinking. Would you start him over DeMarco Murray?
Yes.
Yeah. At this point, I think
because you feel that he give you a better upside, right?
Yeah.
It just because kind of unknown, you're still waiting for him to have it. So I mean, in situations like that where you want to look at your roster, look at your bench, and see who you have, and that's what you want to go with it. But you may not have somebody better than DeMarco Murray, so you have to throw him out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. A guy that I probably wouldn't start over DeMarco Murray, Amir Abdullah, is the next guy I want to talk about. Brent, I know he was a guy that you had listed off when we originally talked about this.
Yeah, I've had to start him during bye weeks these last couple weeks, and I don't feel good about it. Like, the guy, he's getting good volume on that offense. Like, last week he had over 20 rushes. I think a couple weeks ago he had over 20 rushes. Like, he's getting the touches, but he's not doing anything with them. He got in the end zone finally. I think that was his second time all year, and just this last week. But I don't feel good starting him over a lot of other guys, and it's because of his lack of production with those touches. You see guys that are getting only 10 to 15 touches, and they're doing way more with it.
Yeah,
I mean,
and he fumbled twice last week too.
Oh yeah, that too.
I mean, to be honest though, like, he's never been good. He's never had flashes. This has all been like, in theory, okay, well, I like him. He should be good. He just never has been good.
I mean, you say he's never had flashes, but like, he's had long runs and like broke off athletic plays. So like, he has shown athleticism. He's been mostly hype though. I don't disagree with that. But
I don't think he's capable. I don't know. Like, I just don't feel like he's a must own, even. Like, I'm kind of going with what Van Cleve said. It's like, you're not going to get anything better out there, which is probably true. So that might be one reason you don't cut him, but I don't know.
I mean, there's leagues with short benches that I'm in, and I cut him. I dropped him just because there was something better on the waiver wire. But I also think that if you have the bench for it, he should be owned.
Yeah, it's like, if you have the Dallas guys on the waiver wire, I'm probably dropping them for them at this point.
Yeah, better running game, better offensive line. I mean, I'd agree. Take a shot on one of them.
And I like Amir Abdullah. Obviously, like I own him in a few leagues, but Alex isn't wrong. Like he's not been good at all. So, and I probably don't want Theo Riddick either at that point. Like I don't really think there's a Detroit running back that you want.
No, their entire running game is just garbage right now.
Yeah. Let's talk about a wide receiver, Martavis Bryant.
Droppable.
You can't be. You think like you can't owning him right now?
No, and I mean it's quite obvious that. Okay, all you have to do is look at history. The Pittsburgh, their number 2s get sent out of town every single time, and they stop using them because there's another guy waiting, and that's Juju.
Yeah,
I mean he's completely a waste at this point. He's going to be on another team, so if you're in Dynasty, I think you hold on to him. But outside of that, if you're in redrafts, he's done. Get rid of him.
Yeah, I think you were probably hoping that he was going to get traded at the trade deadline, and it didn't happen. So they said that they're going to work him into their game plan, though.
I don't know.
I believe when I see it.
Yeah, right? This is what they do with this is what they do with Mike Wallace. This is what they did with Santonio Holmes. They have done this with every number 2 they have had going back 10, 15 years at this point. They don't hold on to them. They get rid of them, and they're always disgruntled because they don't pay them. It's just what happens.
So he's playing the Colts this week. So let's just say he goes 3 catches, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Is he all of a sudden back on the radar?
No.
Trade.
Should he
he's
be
a
owned?
trade bait. He's trade bait, but I don't think that he's – well, I mean, you're going against a team that is so bad. They just cut their number 1 corner. I mean –
yeah, the Colts are terrible.
So, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I think that, the most generic wide receiver in the world could have a big game. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. So, Van Cleve, you think he's droppable? Alex?
Yeah.
Would you drop him?
Yeah, I pretty much would at this point.
Yeah, I gotta say I probably agree. How about Terrell Pryor? He's been trash.
Oh, so bad.
Like garbage.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that you can keep him at this point.
Even in our Dynasty League, I'm considering dropping him.
I wouldn't blame you.
He's a waste of a roster spot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't blame you. I feel like somebody would pick him up.
No, yeah.
Depending on it, it's a tough call because he has been so bad. But Washington, they really don't have anybody else to throw the ball to. I mean, that offense. And we'll talk about this later. It's not what we thought it was going to be.
He's already at like 2,000 yards. Cousins is. I'm like, who is he throwing to? Who's catching the ball?
Thompson.
Chris Thompson. Vernon Davis.
Yeah.
It's just trash. Like Terrell Pryor has just been absolute garbage.
Because I feel like Jamison Crowder's only had one good game, and like me last year he had multiple good games.
Yeah, he's been a little banged up too.
Yeah, but I'm just saying though, like the wide receivers there have not produced anything that we were expecting them to.
Right.
So it's just, and maybe that's just because they switched in offensive coordinators. I don't know.
Yeah. So maybe I don't know. I hate holding on to Pryor. Like, I think I dropped him in a league finally in another different redraft league. He just
do you sorry, go ahead.
No, go for it.
I was gonna say, do you think, depending on the league you're in, you can maybe get something for him, even if it's not a lot, but at least instead of just dropping, just because I go on name alone and being technically the number one there? Could you guys think you can get anything out for him, or do you think not? He's just droppable.
I mean, I tried shopping him in our Dynasty League. And, like, I was just kind of using them as, like, an add-in, and Nobody wants him. Van Cleve, I think I was going after Luck there for a minute, trying to find a way.
Well, you want to trade him straight up for him.
I mean, that was what I started with. Like,
wait, what?
There was a trade offer for Luck for Pryor straight up. Terrell Pryor for Andrew Luck.
What? That was probably like 3 weeks ago.
That's still garbage. That's still some shady Brent shit right there. That's terrible.
Andrew Luck may never take another NFL snap. So
and Terrell Pryor may never play another game after this year. How bad he is. I mean,
what's more likely?
Andrew Luck will play. Andrew Luck will play again.
You think it's more likely that Andrew Luck plays than Terrell Pryor ever takes another NFL snap?
I think it's more likely that you will get a return on Andrew Luck than you will get a return on Terrell Pryor.
Right. I know. I agree. And I never said it was a good offer. I was just, you got to start out somewhere. Might as well start out low.
See, that's the thing, though, is that if somebody starts with something like that for me, I just get offended and I just like, no. I'm not even going to counter. I'm just offended that you would ever even send that to me.
Coming from a Colts fan, I don't really want to own Andrew Luck. Even the thought of owning him at this point is scary.
Because you wish that you had a guy like Carson Wentz.
Oh, fuck yeah. Absolutely. I love Carson Wentz.
Everybody's all about Carson Wentz.
It's just that's been one of my favorite. I don't know if we really talked about that much on the pod. I know that we talked about liking him in the preseason, but I drafted so much Carson Wentz. I love it. Yeah. But you know what I drafted a lot of was Carson Wentz and Derek Carr, and they're both on bye this week. And I'm kind of I didn't realize it until this week, and I just went through all my lineups earlier this morning. I was like, my God, I have 8 leagues that I have Carson Wentz and Derek Carr. So I was picking up a lot of Ryan Fitzpatrick this week.
Well, I was just loving the value of Carson Wentz that you were getting him at.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you had to feel good about it, and it's definitely he looks great.
Yeah, we talked about Carson Wentz last week.
Yeah.
When you weren't
you loved him. Yeah, I knew that. I listened.
Though. Yeah.
I was all about it.
Oh yeah. We talked all about it.
Well, what about Ty Montgomery? You dropping him? Aaron Jones better than Ty Montgomery?
I almost dropped him until I saw last game, and Mike McCarthy actually said that he kind of wants to split the workload now. It was all Aaron Jones, and now he wants to give Ty Montgomery the passing down work, which is kind of what I thought his strengths were going into the season in the first place, being a wide receiver. It just made sense that he would be the third down back, the passing down back. And it looks, from the looks of it, Green Bay, their defense is atrocious and their offense is not going anywhere. So I have a feeling they're going to be playing from behind quite a bit. So I don't feel like you should drop him, but I don't feel like you should start him either.
Yeah.
I don't think he's startable, but I don't think he's droppable either. I agree with you, Brent, 100%.
But I still think that of those two guys, I think of those two guys that Aaron Jones is still the one to keep because I think he's going to be the guy going forward.
Well,
I don't know.
It's because he actually looks like a running back.
Yeah.
Ty Montgomery just doesn't look like a running back.
Because he's a wide receiver.
And then they got Jamal Williams worked in there too at the goal line. He stole the touchdown from Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that about?
It's a 3-headed monster.
3-headed monster. Like a terrible 3-headed monster.
Yeah, I was going to say that's if I had to own one, it would be Aaron Jones out of that bunch, but
he's a rookie.
As far as a redraft league, I don't feel good about it going this year. Dynasty, I feel better. I feel better about it.
Right, but even in redraft, you would probably want him over the other two, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's just like you said, you can't feel good about it, but whoa. Is that heater kicking on? Somebody getting cold?
Yeah.
Love it. How about Randall Cobb? Stay on the same team.
I mean,
their passing game is not going anywhere.
Yeah, he started out hot. He started out with a lot of promise, but without Aaron Rodgers, like, you can't trust him.
Yeah. He's one of those guys that maybe name value, you get something for him. I don't know. It's just a horrible situation without Aaron Rodgers. You're hoping Brett Hundley would give you some kind of spark for being behind Aaron Rodgers for a couple of years, but that's not looking good.
Yeah, I was going into a game last week where I had Amir Abdullah and the other guy had Jordy Nelson, and I actually felt okay about it because of that lack of Aaron Rodgers. Like, scared of going against any of those Green Bay players, especially not Randall Cobb.
Yeah.
Even though Randall Cobb killed me in Madden the other night. And sometimes, like, when I'm playing Madden, like, I forget that it's not real football. Like, I'll get on, like, I'll be playing on that and then get on, like, my fantasy lineups and be looking at players. I'm like, oh, this guy did. I'm like, wait, that was Madden. I have to, like, remember the difference between the two, that my worlds become meshed.
Yeah, I do that too.
Oh, I hate it, but I hate Randall Cobb. I actually don't like anything about Green Bay. I think that you don't want Brett Hundley. You don't want really any of their running backs. You don't really want any of their wide receivers. They just cut Martellus Bennett.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of trash. What are you guys doing with C.J. Anderson, who I think was injured again? So he missed practice today with an illness or something.
I'm so sick of C.J. Anderson.
You what?
I'm so sick of C.J. Anderson. Like I don't know. They put him out there. He starts off hot, and then he just cools off and cools off and cools off and cools off. Gets injured and cools off. Like, I mean, he's not a legitimate starting running back in the NFL, and they need to figure out who's going to be their starter, because Denver is going nowhere this year, and I just think that their running game is really suffering.
Yeah, who do they have?
Jamal Charles, Devontae Booker, C.J. Anderson. There's like one other guy.
Oh, Booker still does play there?
Yeah.
It was a timeshare last game. All three of them got about the same amount of touches.
Would you rather own Jamal Charles and C.J. Anderson, or do you still want C.J. Anderson?
I want no part of that running back core at all.
What if you had to take one? Like, I forced you into it.
Maybe Devontae Booker, because I think I think that honestly, because if C.J. Anderson goes down with injury or something, he's going to be the main guy. They'll use Jamal Charles intermittently, because I don't think they want to run Jamal Charles to the ground because of how old he is and has past injuries. So I think Devontae Booker is going to be more of a role, and I think he part of the passing game as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the problem is that, you know, he had his chance to be the guy last year, and he didn't take advantage of it at all. So, you know, it's kind of tough to really, even with the gun to my head, like, if I really want to keep one of those guys.
I say if any one of them blows up, especially if you have C.J. Anderson, because if he has a good game, try trading him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that. You just got to sell on him. And like you said, Alex, he always starts out hot, and then you want to get rid of him.
Yep.
How do you guys feel about Deshaun Jackson for the rest of the season? Maybe this game with Mike Evans being suspended, but past that.
I think he'll be the same as what he's before, just a wide receiver with upside.
Yeah, boomer bust
guy. Because it only takes one play for him.
Yeah.
And I think Ryan Fitzpatrick can even just throw one pass to him, and he can go for big. I think he's the same receiver, I think, with or without Jameis.
What's the difference between him and Sammy Watkins?
Right now, nothing.
Sammy Watkins is younger.
Sammy Watkins is considered number one on a team.
Is he?
I mean, he's probably. I think he's considered.
I'd rather have Cooper Kupp than Sammy Watkins.
Well, I'm not saying
he pulls coverage though.
Yeah,
he does
pull
coverage.
He gets guarded like a number one.
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't want any part of Deshaun Jackson. I didn't have a lot of Deshaun Jackson anyways, because I've never really been a big fan. But
I do dailies. I've had success in dailies with matchups. Play matchups.
Yeah, where you pick your matchup. But as far as like a season long league,
shoot, maybe if this is a good matchup with him, or maybe because he may get a little bit of a bump with Mike Evans. Maybe he has a good game and then trade him. I don't know.
Yeah. What's he done this season? Has he done anything?
I think he's had a couple 100-yard games, but mostly it's been like 3 for 30.
Which, I mean, that was kind of like his every other game with Philadelphia. But, as those fast guys, start losing a step. And I think that's kind of what you're seeing with him a little bit, because Tampa Bay is not playing well, which is a shock to us, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But, I don't know. Yeah. I don't really want him either.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm dropping him, like you said. If I already own him, if I've waited this long, you might as well just hang on to him and see. Play those matchups like Van Cleve said. If he has a good matchup, go ahead and start him. But how about Jonathan Stewart?
Drop.
See ya. Peace.
Yeah.
I haven't owned Jonathan Stewart in probably 7 years. I don't know why anybody has him on their team at this point.
Well, like when Christian McCaffrey was just catching passes, I could see it. But they're starting to work him into the run game now too.
Yeah. He's way more dynamic.
Yeah. He is way better. Jonathan Stewart's he's meh.
He's never been exciting ever.
Yeah.
I think that going forward, I think McCaffrey's going to start being that lead back. They're going to start handing him more and more. I've heard that they want to get him more involved. So I think that they're going to start handing the keys over to him.
They should. Well,
I mean,
they got to see how much of a workload he can handle, because he might not be able to handle a whole ton in the NFL. NFL is a lot different from college. It really is, and it sometimes translates, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes guys that were able to take a lot of touches in college aren't able to handle in the NFL. So it's just, I get trying to be safe with players, but you got to see what you got with McCaffrey. He's got great vision. He's very athletic, but he's a great pass catcher too.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Jonathan Stewart's droppable though, especially for the rest of the season, unless something happened to Christian McCaffrey, like a torn ACL or something stupid.
Don't wish that on him.
Well, if I wish it, it's not going to happen. So you probably want me to wish it. Now, if I was saying that he's going to win Rookie of the Year, then I would start worrying. What are you guys doing with Derrick Henry? I know we kind of already touched on DeMarco Murray.
You're sitting tight on him.
Yeah.
You got to hold on to him. He's easily probably one of the top handcuffs at this point. And DeMarco,
he definitely is.
He's getting older. You're starting to see a little bit of wear and tear this season with DeMarco, and Derrick Henry's just going to, once he gets that opportunity, I just feel like he's going to run with it.
Literally.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Obviously, you like owning him a lot more in Dynasty, and he still is way more exciting in Dynasty to own. But even in redraft,
I think you still
probably want him more than DeMarco.
Well, because depending on how your league is scored too, if you're looking at it like who's going to get a touchdown, it's probably going to be Derrick Henry,
right? And he's younger and better.
Yeah.
How about Tevin Coleman? What are you doing with him?
He's tough because Devontae Freeman's actually looked good, but they're barely giving him any touches. But they always seem to give Tevin Coleman like work in the red zone. Like he always has this vulture for a touchdown, or he gets a reception for a touchdown to save his fantasy day. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to start Tevin Coleman, but you definitely shouldn't bench him because I think he's also one of the top 5 handcuffs in this league right now. Where if anything happens to Devontae Freeman, he becomes a top 10 running back.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And like, you don't wish bad things on people, but if Devontae Freeman did go down, like you said, he instantly becomes a top 10. Like, just in today's NFL, that's what you have, is you have a bunch of these backfields that have 2 players, and you're really just waiting for somebody to get injured.
Mm-hmm. And hoping it's not your guy.
Exactly. It's just, I don't know, it's hard. Because Tevin Coleman I think he's a very exciting player. And I had him right up there with like Derrick Henry as far as like talent goes. But I'd probably rather own Henry than Coleman. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I would rather have Henry.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather own Henry, but if you had to start one of the 2, I feel like they work Coleman into their offense more so. I could be wrong. They work Henry in quite a bit too now. But
well, they're starting to work him in more too.
I feel like they work Coleman in more with the passing game, and they work Henry in more with the running game.
Sure.
Yeah.
What are you doing with Jerick McKinnon?
I think he's a start option every single week at this point. I mean, he somehow gets touches every week, even when they give more touches to Latavius Murray every week. Yeah, and he's doing it in the passing game especially. I think he's averaging like 7 receptions a game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Since Dalvin Cook went down, so he's clearly the preferred option in the passing down work.
Man, I wish Dalvin Cook wouldn't have got injured.
Oh, tell me about it. God.
So sad. What were you going to say?
Worst. I was just saying that, you kind of have to go after, you're looking at him instead of Murray just because Murray just can't do anything with anything. Like, so, but even still, like, he's the guy that I would probably question whether I should get rid of or not. I don't know. It depends on what's out there.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw Minnesota put Sam Bradford on IR. How do you guys feel about Minnesota's offense? Case Keenum, like, he's been okay.
Well, did you hear Bridgewater got cleared? He started practicing.
Yeah, they called him up to the regular roster or whatever. I mean, but do you think he's going to play a game this season?
Yes.
Do you?
Yeah,
I don't know.
At some
I don't
point,
know why. I feel like he will.
I don't think Case Keenum is sustainable as the quarterback for the Vikings. So I feel like Bridgewater will play at some point. He used to be their starter, and he had an unfortunate injury.
Yeah.
It derailed his career. And to get that back on track, they know he's talented. I think he will eventually he'll be a starter at some point this season, I think.
I hope so. I do think that he's better for their offense, and he's obviously been working. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he's just been sitting around getting fat.
I mean, I just kind of want to see him play and see the biggest knee brace of all time out on the field.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the thing with Minnesota, like, they're still really good.
How? Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, how are they winning games?
Their defense is good.
I mean, but at the same time, they've got Green Bay without what's his name? They've got Chicago, and then like their biggest competition is really the Lions, and the Lions are back and forth.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just they have talent on their team. They're kind of weak at quarterback right now. If they could get Bridgewater back, though, I think that could help out a lot because I don't think Keenum is very good. He's been okay filling, just with their defense as good as it is, they don't need to score a ton of points to win. If they put up 20 points, they're going to have a shot to win every week.
Yeah. I mean, they do have a good defense, but I don't know. Like, there are some teams that are winning games that are so epically boring, and I just don't understand how they're winning. Like Tennessee, no, like I don't understand. Jacksonville, I don't understand. Minnesota, I don't understand. Like these teams that just have players, but they're not getting the ball to those players. So I don't understand how they're winning as a team, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean Jacksonville has a tough defense. Vikings have a tough defense. It's the tougher defenses are able to overcome that.
Yeah.
Like, did you see how epically bad Houston is without Deshaun Watson now?
So bad.
The Colts tried to lose. Like
they tried really hard. They tried really hard.
I feel like they try really hard every week to lose.
They went out there. They left it all on the field. At least they tried to.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, but on top of that, like for a team that's, I mean, they still have a winning record, right? Or now they have
no. Houston does not.
Oh, Houston. Okay.
Yeah, Houston. I thought was 3-4 going into that game.
Oh, okay. See, like, but still, like that division is still up for grabs. Like anybody can still win that division, even the Colts. And the Texans go out and grab a guy who hasn't thrown a pass in 6 years. I'm just blown away. Like that's a class of crap. Like that is just terrible.
Can the winner of that division actually go 6-10?
I think so.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's not very likely though. Well, Titans and Jaguars are both 5-3. Texans and Colts are both 3-5, and the Colts are 3-6. So Colts still have a handle on being terrible. So
yeah,
there's always that. But that was the last player that I have as far as those can't drop them guys go, unless you guys have somebody else to add to the list.
No, I mean, like now I'm ready to talk about these teams.
What team do you want to talk about first?
I honestly want to talk about like, okay, we're talking pre-Winston injury. Mm-hmm. We had him at full strength all year. Mm-hmm. Why is Tampa Bay so bad? Can anybody answer that question? Like, let's put Winston aside because he didn't get hurt until last week. But this was a 2-win team with all the pieces that they had. Why were they not winning? I don't understand.
It's because they were on Hard Knocks. Distraction.
It's like a curse, yeah. Like it happened last year and the year before. Like the Rams were last year, and a lot of people had high hopes for them. But even with Jeff Fisher, they did terrible last year. They were awful. Like,
yeah, they were laughing stock terrible last year.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I kind of understood that maybe people were getting a little too excited because there were a lot of new pieces, a lot. And I think with Tampa Bay, there were new pieces, but there were a lot of old pieces too. So it shouldn't be taking this much time to gel.
They only acquired, Sean Jackson, and then
they added role players. They didn't add like it wasn't like the Rams where they got a new quarterback. They had a running back that had only been in the 1 year previous, and all of their wide receivers, all of them were new, except for Kenny Britt.
Tavon Austin.
Oh well, does he exist?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. It's a tough thing because you would say like, oh, maybe offensive coordinator. No, they still have the same run the same places they did the year previous. I don't know. It is a disappointment. I don't know if it is. I think it has to do with Jameis Winston, to be honest with you. Where his head's at, I'm not sure.
It's just hard for them to sustain drives, it feels like. I mean, their defense is not keeping them in games. The games are getting out of control early. They're abandoning the run early. So they're forcing all this onto Jameis Winston's shoulders, and he's hurting his shoulders in the process.
Yeah.
And like Mike Evans isn't even doing anything really either. Like,
and he's showing his frustration. You know, now he's suspended because of that
idiot
blindside hit. But
such an idiot.
Like, what was worse? AJ Green going ham on that guy on Ramsey, like punched him in the head.
I haven't seen the Heath Evans thing, but I mean the AJ Green thing was unbelievable. I could not believe how he went after him,
and he didn't get suspended. He got fined.
Nothing. Like like I said, I haven't seen the Mike Evans. I know
Heath Evans.
I haven't seen the Heath Evans either. I don't know.
Yeah, Mike Evans. I haven't seen the Mike Evans thing, but I mean, AJ Green went at Jalen Ramsey. I mean, went at him.
Yeah. Did you watch that interview that I linked in our group text?
I didn't watch it, but I did read some of it.
I really like Jalen Ramsey. Like, I kind of like the Jaguars' defense. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I feel like they have swagger and
they do.
Like
they're exciting.
They're finally what we expected them to be because of like all the pieces that they got and what they put together. It's like, okay, finally they're good.
Yeah,
and they got a decent offense, but just the quarterback positions was where they're struggling at because they finally got a run game.
Yeah, they're terrible. We're getting away from the fact though that we want to talk about how terrible Tampa Bay has been. Is there anybody on the team that you want to own? You can't feel good about.
I mean, we had so much hype for Mike Evans coming into the season.
I was ready to crown him the champ.
And he's put up decent numbers, but he hasn't really gone over 100 yards. He's had some touchdowns, but see, the thing that's been separates Mike Evans from other wide receivers is his touchdowns. He's been consistently having double-digit touchdown years, and this year he just hasn't. And so it's been really hurting this year, Mike Evans owners, me including. So you can't drop him. I don't think.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I don't think you dropped Doug Martin. I know that he hasn't necessarily been performing, but I'd much rather have him over Jonathan Stewart, that type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
do you think that they might be better with Ryan Fitzpatrick coming in there?
For
you think it could maybe like spark a fire?
Short periods, I think. I don't think he's
good. Ryan Fitzpatrick always can do well coming off of the bench. As soon as you hand him the job, that's when things go to crap.
Something has to, and like they're not really naming him the starter. He's coming in there to. They said what they're going to bench or sit Winston for a few weeks.
Yeah. Over his shoulder because he re-aggravated it.
Something's got to happen. Another team that we had been all hyped on and we already kind of talked about earlier in the show, Tennessee Titans.
I mean, granted, Corey Davis has been hurt most of the season, but I didn't expect him to start contributing really until the latter half of the season anyway. So the fact that like they're winning games, but I don't know how. I mean, their numbers are awful. I mean, we're right now, Mariota's on pace to just barely get over 3,000 yards, just barely.
Yeah. I mean, their offense just isn't what it was last year either. Not with their running game. Mariota's not making plays. He's been hurt a little bit. Corey Davis injury didn't help that, but I'm really excited to see this offense going forward with Corey Davis hopefully opening it up a lot more.
He's starting to play more snaps.
Yes.
Snapping other wide receivers,
So I mean, I just want to see what Corey Davis can do. He was the top wide receiver in this draft. He was drafted in the top 5. I just want to see what he could do. Put him on the field, throw him the ball.
Yeah.
But I mean, even Delaney Walker in that offense, like he hasn't even had a touchdown yet this year. Oh, yes, he did. He had a rushing one, didn't he?
He did.
That's right.
He did.
Yep. So, yeah, it's just been a weird season for the Tennessee Titans, and their defense is actually keeping them in games. It's been close games, but they're pulling out the wins.
Yeah.
They're just not the exciting fantasy team that we thought they would be going into the season.
Right, but you got to feel better about them than Tampa Bay, probably. At least I do.
I mean, when you're winning games, you feel a little bit better about the team and the players and all that kind of stuff, but it's still at the same time, it's still a little, you're still worried about it.
Yeah. It's like you guys said, though, Corey Davis is exciting. If he comes around, it can make you feel a lot better about them.
He's a free agent in a ton of leagues, too.
Yeah, nobody's excited about Rashard Matthews. Eric Jeffer. Those aren't.
No.
I am.
Boring.
I love
Tajay.
They're my favorite.
Tajay. I want more Tajay Sharp.
I want Jonnu Smith. Jonnu is his name.
Jonnu.
Yeah. Yes. He's tight end, though, right?
Yeah. So, he has a tight end.
Delaney already has 1 foot in the grave, so.
Wow.
Oh, poor Delaney Walker.
And Delaney Walker is still the best pass catcher on that team right now.
Yeah.
And I was really thinking, honestly, I mean, not that Delaney Walker has been amazing, but, I assumed, and actually I think that we might even have a bet.
Yeah, it's with Tyler Eifert, who is 2 feet in the grave already.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's 6 foot under,
Yeah. Oh, that was the thing. I'm pretty sure, I told Romine of our bets. I think right now I'm at 7-2. Brent, we had 2, and I'm crushing you on those 2. I'm in Van Cleve. I think I'm winning.
I still think Paul Perkins can turn it around.
What were the bets?
It was Derrick Henry versus Paul Perkins.
We need to do it next show. Update for next show.
Yeah, because Derrick Henry versus Paul Perkins, and then Eric Ebron. This was another one that was multiple people took me up on this. 60, 825, and 5 touchdowns or better for Eric Ebron.
There's still a lot of season to go. Lots of season. Really, it's just over the halfway point.
Yeah, Eric Ebron isn't even starting at tight end anymore for Detroit. It's Fells now. So
yeah,
I was wrong about that.
I mean, honestly, I have the last 2 seasons, I've been Eric Ebron's a joke.
You have been. You have definitely been on that side of it. So.
Oh crap. No, I'm VC. Todd Gurley will finish higher than Jordan Howard in half-point PPR total points. Yeah, you're gonna get that. But then now this one will probably come down to the end. Van Cleve, you said that Frank Gore will have more fantasy points than LeGarrette Blount. That one. That's the old train coming in. It's the old train.
That's a gross bet ever. Was I drunk when I made that? Just gross.
We have the best bets on this podcast.
Because we just shoot our mouth off and then we're just no.
You won't get better bets anywhere else.
They are pretty money, and we can talk about more next week, like you said, Van Cleve. I like that, kind of revisiting it. Give Alex a minute to actually throw everything together. I do have a couple more teams on here. If you guys just want to talk about Washington and Oakland real quick, both of them have been kind of.
Okay, there's just 2 differences here. Washington, there was a lot of promise. We were looking at, Doxson coming back. We were looking at Sanjay Perine. And, I mean, that's been completely just Terrell Pryor. We were looking at this team as an up-and-comer. Oakland, we were ready to I was ready for them to be in the Super Bowl. Flat out. All they needed was a running game. They just needed and they went out and got Marshawn Lynch. And I thought, well, I don't think that he's going to be great. but I had no idea he was going to be as bad as he is. So, I mean, I still think that I do not believe that the starting running back for the Raiders next year is on the team at all.
Yeah.
So I think that, that's something that they're going to be addressing, and they've got to address that defense because that defense is horrendous. They've got one of the best players in Khalil Mack, but outside of that, they have nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, they haven't really been building that defense, which is, that's kind of ripping out a page from, not to throw salt on the wound, but it's kind of ripping out a page of the Colts book there, where you've got the guy, and you're like, well, let's put it all on his shoulders. Well, when that guy gets hurt, all of a sudden the team can't catch up. So, it becomes a problem. So they're going to have to address some of those issues.
Yeah. Do you guys still have faith in Derek Carr, Amari Cooper, Michael Crabtree?
I think Derek Carr's fine.
Kind of been coming on.
I think Derek Carr's fine. I think that the rest of it will follow, but they have got to get a running game going because you don't have to even – it's not a threat at all, and that's a big problem. I'm sitting here and I will actually tell you Latavius Murray was better than what they've got going on now. They honestly should have kept him if this is what they were going to put together because it's bad.
I want that to feel good hearing you say it. It just doesn't, though. But Lynch has been trash. You're exactly right. They might as well just kept Latavius Murray, and that three-headed monster was better than this. And I love Marshawn Lynch. I think he's hilarious. But he's a personality. He's not a running back anymore.
Yeah.
He's a mascot.
Well, he's too old. I don't understand why anyone thought that this was going to work. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either. But I say disappointment just because we expected so much out. And I think a lot of it has to do with Marshawn Lynch being terrible and with Amari Cooper not living up to his expectations too. But I don't know. Do you guys want to talk about Washington at all? We kind of already talked about Pryor, and
they're so bad. They're just bad.
They're just not a good team.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it the Cousins stuff with him dealing with these contract issues, if it's taken away from everything, but they haven't been. We thought that they were going to be chucking the ball all around too, and their run game has been pretty much a joke except for Chris Thompson.
Yeah, and that's been mostly out of the backfield, kind of pitching and throwing to the wheel routes and stuff like that. So I mean, even that is not really run game stuff. Yeah, which sucks because Chris Thompson is obviously the most skilled, running back they have on their team, but he's just so small that you don't want him running in between the tackles because he's going to get hurt. So, I mean, you're kind of running into a problem with that. So,
yeah, they got Rob Kelly back last week. He scored a couple touchdowns.
Yeah,
ran for 18 yards.
Yeah, terrible, right?
On 14 carries.
How do you do that?
Is that Mike Alstott?
When Jerome Bettis that last year.
There you go. Yep.
I don't know. I don't really get their offense either, but they're not good.
Yeah,
they're not. But all right, well, let's go ahead and wrap this bad boy up, and next week we'll talk about our bets again. Have Alex get everything together, and he can make fun of how terrible I am, and how he's gonna eat free dinners and for the rest of his life. And
can't wait for the free dinners.
Dave and Buster's was fun the last time though, so it's all right.
It was a good time. It was. Yeah,
Alex really had a good time.
Van Cleve wasn't
$90 later.
Oh my gosh.
Perfect.
Oh my god.
But all right, follow us on Twitter, 4 Horsemen Pod. Send us emails, 4horsemenpod@gmail.com, and we will catch you next week. Peace.